Okay, so when last we left the party, the party was hanging by a thread.
They were
literally.
We left them hanging for 4 weeks.
It was a cliffhanger. Though, as it turns out,
Maybe a city hanger.
Hank and Serendipity Van Goldstrider Malor, Slayer of the Butcher of Brackenridge and Toppler Towers, were not actually down the rope because that would have been dumb.
That was just a weird little thing that happened. That shouldn't have happened. So
we had made a plan. We had made a plan about how everyone will go down and they'll stay at the top for one round and stop the rope from getting cut, and then they'll come down. And they were all excited about the plan, so they came right down. So yeah. Anyway, so that got rewound. So let me see if I remember the sequence of events. This whole session was basically in combat. So the sequence of events is important. So Croesus, Aurora, and Cricket are all approximately the same location down the rope.
Yeah, they've been going down the rope at various speeds. Aurora was the fastest because she sort of rappelled down.
Yeah, but we're just like one square apart on top of each other, so effectively the same. We're about, about 5 meters above...
7 or 8 meters above the... If you actually
right, there was a platform.
There's a platform they came out on. There was a platform below that a whole bunch of the dwarven freaks and a gnome came out on. Then there was a platform below that no one was on, but last session they'd seen people waiting in the wings to come out of. And then below that was the treads, and below that was the ground. And so they were about 7 meters above the lower platform people were ready to come out on, and about 3 meters below the platform above with all the freaks on it and the gnome. So
right.
And then above that was where Hank and Serendipity are, and they can hear guards clanking out from the inside of the city.
So it's basically we're trying to get down to the ground as fast as possible. Now,
it was actually helped by, if you recall in last Tale Telling, you made me aware of an incorrectness I had, and I thought that it was 1d10 per square for falling damage, but it's 1d10 per 2 squares. And while that's still, it was still 38 squares to the ground.
We would have had a fatality otherwise, I think.
But it was that still made a huge difference, right?
Yeah.
Like it was deadly, but not like out of this world deadly.
Not
right?
like pieces everywhere.
Yes. Which makes sense, actually. So.
And came in very relevant almost immediately. I believe it was like the first volley from the crazy dwarves.
Yeah, it's true, yeah. So it was the enemy's turn. The dwarven freaks, I realized they all had an at-will that had a very short range to push. And everyone was on the rope just within range.
Yeah.
So they all ran up to the top of the platform because it was like a range burst 2, and they were just within that range when they were standing on the edge of the platform. So they all hit the party with that. And, they started.
So the gnome hits us with the area effect, twisty ribbons of light, and blinds Cricket. It didn't affect anyone else, as I recall. So Cricket is blinded save ends. She's getting used to this by now. That gnome with her twisty ribbons of light, if I was any other character, I would be very vengeful towards that gnome, but we're a very not vengeful party. This whole party is not vengeance oriented, so she's going to be fine. Anyway, Cricket gets blinded. Then the dwarves line up and they start volleying off their push attacks. And fortunately, they don't hit anyone except they hit Croesus, and they push him. And he fails his saving throw, and he gets pushed 4 squares, which is far enough to get him out past the treads, so he gets the maximum fall.
Yeah, and so he's way above the treads. He falls, I think it was
a lot. He wound up taking like 70-something points of damage, which brought him below 0. It was more than 20, I know this, because the ability I have an immediate reaction. I think it was 26 squares was the fall.
Yeah, I think so. So he knocks him off.
He took 13 d10. Yes, I remember that now. I remember. It was definitely 26 squares he fell.
Yeah, and he fell out, just went flailing out past the platform, past the treads in sort of an arc, and just right onto the ground.
13 d10. He took like 70-something points of damage. It was pretty nasty. It blew him below.
He was already quite hurt, so it got him close.
It brought him down
to death level.
Yeah, it brought him down below 0, definitely. Now, I have an immediate reaction, Word of Life, which goes off if an ally within 20 squares goes to 0 hit points. I let them spend a healing surge as an immediate reaction. John was merciful and allowed Cricket to use this ability by letting go of the rope and falling 7 meters to the platform.
I figured letting go of the rope would be a free action.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, doing a free action to get an immediate reaction is a little bit iffy rules-wise, but I'm certainly not going to complain.
Well, you could have been like, oh, he's going to fall to his death. I'm going to fall too.
Now,
timing works out.
Well, also, Cricket was blind at the time, so...
Oh, right.
I assume she heard Croesus go, whoa! Crunch. That was a nasty crunch. Anyway, so she let herself fall. Took a bit of damage, but not very much, because it's only 7 meters. I think I was still not bloodied after that. And I let Croesus do a healing surge. So, what else happened that round? Hank and Serendipity Van Goldstrider Malor, Slayer of the Butcher of Breckenridge and Toppler of Towers. What did they do that round?
Well, the Dwarven Freaks all hit a bunch of stuff, but it didn't... Oh no, I'm trying to remember. I think Aurora dropped down for some reason too.
She came down the next round after Cricket, because she was worried about Cricket. I think that's how.
Yeah, I guess it must have been. I just don't remember why the dwarf. Only 2 of the Dwarven Freaks could reach you. No, she was out of range. She was out of range of them.
Yeah.
Because it had a very short range. She was a little bit lower. And so once Cricket dropped down and Croesus fell down, they couldn't reach anyone anymore, so they just shot their long-range stuff.
I remember now, they hit Hank with that thing where if Hank goes closer to them, he takes some damage. That was a big change. Yes. Hank was going to, the next round, he had the hook shot. He was going to hook shot down, hook shot down and take Serendipity, Van Goldstrider, Malor, Slayer of the Butcher of Breckenridge and Toppler of Towers down with him. But he was pretty badly banged up, and the dwarves had hit him with these abilities where if he got closer to them, he would take additional damage, which would bring him below 0 because he was that close. It was basically guaranteed. So that was a sudden change of plans. Hank now can't hookshot down because he'll fall unconscious halfway down, and it's a long drop. And Serendipity, Van Goldstrider, Malor, Slayer of the Butcher of Breckenridge, Toppler of Towers would go with him. So they had a bit of a what do we do now kind of thing. Did they fought with that assassin a bit? What did they do with him? They
hit him. They stabbed him.
Yeah, nothing much happened with them. There was a little bit back and forth.
Yeah,
there.
he stabbed them. They stabbed him. But that's why Hank was so badly hurt.
Yeah,
because he came out of he was sort of in this like misty darkness form, and he kind of came and stabbed Hank and did a lot of damage. And then Hank hit him back, but didn't kill him. He tried to push him off, in fact.
Yeah, but that didn't work.
But it didn't work.
So that's when we try and figure out, can Serendipity, Van Goldstrider, Malor, Slayer of the Butcher of Breckenridge, Toppler of Towers carry Hank? Turns out she can't. It's just within her weight limit. So little wizard gnome slings the huge shifter barbarian over her shoulder and hook shots down. And sure enough, Hank takes enough damage from moving closer that it knocks him out.
No, he didn't. He actually
didn't. I thought he did.
I rolled low and it didn't take him out. He's like, oh, I didn't.
Oh, right. It was what happened afterwards.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So Hank is slung over Serendipity, Van Goldstrider, Malor, Slayer of the Butcher of Breckenridge, Toppler of Towers' shoulder. They hook shot down to the immovable rod that's now starting to move off to the back because the whole city is moving. And then the next round, they're now within range of those dwarves with their push attack. So they begin slamming away with their push attack, and they hit Hank and blow him out of Serendipity, Van Goldstrider, Malor, Slayer of the Butcher of Breckenridge, Toppler of Towers' grasp.
Yeah, because I think they hit him something. They hit him first for something, and that knocked him unconscious. The first hit somehow knocked him unconscious, but he made a save or something.
Yeah.
And then the second one hit Serendipity, and it would have hit her, but she used her shield to block the hit, so it didn't knock her off. And then he was unconscious, so I said, Shannon, for Serendipity, Hank's unconscious, so you're holding on to him. You make the save whether he falls or not.
So she did, and so Hank got blown out and fell the same distance Croesus did, and he's already past 0. So yeah, he actually did go to insta-kill range. And so theoretically, we had another kill in this campaign. But John has a special last gasp rule for this kind of thing, where if you go to the insta-kill level, basically it doesn't insta-kill you, but it takes all your death saves, strikes. Done. So your all your death strikes are gone.
Okay.
And you've got 1 round, basically.
Yeah, whenever anyone dies, you've got 1 round to feed a potion down their gullet, and then they can be saved.
And fortunately, Croesus was down there, and he was alive because Cricket had hit him with that thing. So, I didn't feel too bad about not saving Hank, because I'd saved Croesus and Croesus saved Hank. However, they were having some different problems down there. Turns out, there's these weird giant cockroaches that
follow the city around
to scavenge anything that gets run over. And so, a huge pile of meat goes wham on the ground, and they all come swarming. So the ground wasn't safe.
Yeah, they were just being swarmed by these giant cockroach thingies, and crawling all over each other and them trying to bite them.
Croesus marked everything and was doing his defender thing. But even so, he was taking an enormous amount of damage.
And they had poison that slowed and then immobilized you. And Croesus really wanted to get to Hank to feed him a potion. And it was tricky because he had to get to Hank to feed him a potion in 1 round, and he was slowed because of the poison, right? But he had just enough to get there.
Yeah.
It was 2 squares away, so he moved there and fed him a potion, and then he failed his save and became immobilized. So
we very nearly lost Hank there.
You're being ruthless this campaign.
So, and the other thing, now Hank and Croesus want to get back up on the treads, but of course it's moving away because the whole city is moving. On the plus side, though, if you do manage to get to the treads and grab onto them, you get pulled up. So
towards the hordes of crazy gnomes.
The top of the treads are actually safe. There's no one there.
Oh, okay.
Now,
although the gnomes and stuff can reach it.
Oh yeah, we can't just live there. We're going to live here from now on. We're going to build our own little moving city that moves at equal speed in the opposite direction. Anyway, some other stuff was going on.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back on the platform where Cricket and Aurora were,
a bunch of archers showed up.
Yeah, a bunch of those guys who were waiting in the wings. A bunch of archers showed up. They all just took aim at. They planted a battle standard, and then they all took aim at Cricket and just started hammering her with arrows till she went down.
Yes, the blind domestic lying on the floor. So,
have to be a show off. I just looks extravagant.
They gave me mine partly assembled.
Yeah, man, this place is going downhill.
Man,
Let's show you the egg.
Actually, it feels like
they feel they have to prove that
it feels like a lot less fries than they would normally give.
Because we got the starter fries.
Nope.
No, it's just this is the way they
a new thing.
package them. They are still bottomless though, so.
Yeah, literally.
But I'm ching. So anyway, yeah, they riddle Cricket with arrows.
She falls unconscious.
Yeah.
And Aurora wants.
She flips out because her dear friend Cricket has just been shot with arrows and stuff. So she does the that black hole thing,
she dropped down, she just dropped off, which took some damage because I think she didn't have time to do everything she wanted to do if she climbed down the rope.
Yeah.
So she just jumped off, took damage.
So she did the black hole thing, which pulls all the enemies within a big area towards her. Unfortunately, she was right next to this big hole. So like half the archers got thrown down this hole. And they were minions, so the falling damage destroyed them.
It probably would have anyway.
Yes. Well,
Everyone's a minion when you fall off a 40-story building.
It was only down to the treads, so it wasn't super duper tall.
True.
It was, I think, like a 10 square fall or something.
That's true. They splatted on
crazy.
On the treads, but interestingly, when they both splatted on the treads, and then they faded away into like black mist thing or whatever.
There's time mages everywhere, and they're minion archers too for some reason. Anyway, so Aurora did a number on those archers. And then, let's see now. I guess she must have healed Cricket as well.
Yeah.
Because Cricket came back online.
That was why she dropped down. She just fell right onto Cricket and healed her.
Yeah. And Cricket got to cushion her fall with her body, which is another favorite thing that Cricket likes to do. So, we're making progress now.
I don't know.
Half the party is on the ground.
It sounds like half the party is unconscious.
Half the party is on the ground, and the other party is half of the party is halfway down.
And they were talking, like, should we attack those dwarven freaks? And I made the point that all four of the dwarven freaks were completely at full hit points at this point.
I did hit one with a push thing that shoved him off the edge, though. It didn't matter when that happens.
Yeah, so they had this great idea. Hank and Croesus were having trouble on the ground. They thought, let's throw more meat down there to distract the bugs, right? So they throw one of the freaks down there. He falls, splats on the ground, instantly killed. And then he faded away into a black nothingness.
No meat. Oh well. Then I had another clever idea. There's dwarves and gnomes up there working together. That's not how it works in this city. So I used Song of Discord to try and make one of the dwarves attack the gnome. I flubbed my rules terribly. Nothing much came of that.
One guy tried to attack another and missed.
Yeah.
That's the entirety of the...
Yeah, it was lame. Oh well. They don't always work.
It was a daily, too.
Yeah. So, at this point, Hank and Croesus are trying to... Oh, yes, that's right. Cricket has the box. And she's been knocked down, so she's a little concerned. So she throws the box down to Hank. Actually, I think that happened a little bit earlier on, but...
Yeah, whatever.
It was around this time.
She did it to Croesus, I thought.
To Croesus? Oh, yes, that's right. When it was just Croesus down there and the bugs hadn't showed up. It was looking like Croesus might be the one most likely to get away. So she threw the box to Croesus. And I think Croesus handed it off to Hank. Because Croesus was going to do the heroic last stand now as Hank is trying to retreat from these bugs. So Croesus handed the box to Hank. And then Hank is trying to climb up the treads.
Yeah, it was funny. Everyone was trying to get down to the ground. As soon as they got down there, they're all like, okay, how do we climb up the treads? It was an easy climb, the treads.
Yeah. It turns out the ground was not a nice place to be. So, Hank is making good progress up the treads. Croesus is having a bit of trouble because of the whole immobilized thing. Fortunately, Atar is down there to help him out.
That's right. So, Croesus makes the heroic last stand, and Atar starts climbing up the thing, and there was and so Croesus on the ground says, "Okay, Atar, get out of here! I'll hold them off." And then from the treads, what did he say? Croesus on the treads says, "Okay, Atar, I'll go get help. You hold them off."
Yeah.
What was Croesus again?
Croesus is an oblin.
No, class.
Was
Battle
Battle Mine, yeah.
So is that like one of his abilities? That's yeah.
Yeah, he can make a duplicate of himself. Damage to one affects both, so it's not a defensive thing.
But positive things also affect both. So yeah, it's an interesting ability.
So it's useless to run away.
Croesus doesn't know he has it, but his player does. So.
So Croesus was heroically holding off the bugs so that Croesus could escape. Anyway, meanwhile, we finished taking care of the archers. I think we killed all the archers, right? They're all dead.
Yeah.
And then the three of us, the girls, as it turns out, all the female characters in one place. We go down. Oh, right. Yes, the assassin cut the rope after we'd all gone. So the rope falls down next to us. And so we grab the rope. And then afterwards, the assassin is like, I could have climbed down that rope.
Yeah, he's kind of kicking himself for that.
Yeah. So we grab the rope. And we go down onto the treads.
I think at this point, everyone had decided, like, you could walk on the treads under the city, and there was none of their enemies there, so it was decided that was where they were going. And so I think Cricket was already down there and had taken her turn, but something badly hurt Hank, so he was going to go down because Aurora had to do Aurora jumped down onto the treads and ran to the edge, had just enough movement to climb down so she could just reach Hank to heal him on the treads as he's climbing up.
That dwarven guards guy was
right. That guy.
There was a dwarf up on the ledge who had like a crossbow or something.
A longbow.
A longbow, and he was the only one who had the range to reach us anymore. So he was just up there patiently clinging away with this.
And each time he hit, which he hit like every time, he hit Croesus, it did a lot of damage every time. And that was an unwelcome addition to what was going on. Yeah, right, because what happened was the bugs kind of overwhelmed Croesus on the ground and, like, I think took him below zero. And then it turns out Croesus was never there at all. He was always on the treads. But he was still, like, about to go down, so or something. I don't exactly remember. So he was in a dire way. So Aurora jumped down onto the treads and ran to the edge and hung over so she was just within range of her heal and healed him.
Yeah. And then the next round, we all got up on the treads together, and we ran for it to get out of the line of fire. And that's where the session ended. Yep. So yeah, we spent the whole session basically trying to climb down a rope. that we started the session halfway down.
Run, braves, run.
Hank saved me. Yes, I guess that was only yesterday when he saved us all with the hook shot, and we went up to the top of the tower before it fell. But today, I saved him. I returned the favor. I saved him. I slung him over my shoulder, and his head hit the ground, but that was okay. Oops. And next time I know that he's a little too tall for that. And I aimed the hook shot at the immovable rod, and we went swoosh. And then the bad guys tried to fire and cold and magical things at us, and it didn't daunt me. I kept going, and I let go of Hank, and he fell. Oops, that's okay. At least he fell unconscious at the same time as we were swinging, so he doesn't know that I dropped him, so it's okay.
So, Serendipity, Ven Goldstrand, Malor, Slayer of the Butcher of Breckenridge, Top of Towers, dropped me. It's okay, I don't hold it against her. She was being fired upon, and I got hit, and I fell, and I died. But I got better. Croesus was gracious enough to feed me a potion, but I was feeling pretty tender after that landing. I'm still pretty sore, but Croesus did save my life. I'm very grateful for that. Actually, he saved my life more than that because he fended off those horrible bugs as I retreated up the treads. Although I probably would have just done that anyway. But yeah, I'm lucky to be alive.
What's going on? I can't see a thing. I've been blinded. Oh, not again. I can hear. Oh my. Uh-oh. That sounded like an oblin hitting the ground, exactly 7 meters out of range of my word of faith. I'm coming for you, Croesus.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm really getting tired of falling to my death.
Well, today we had an interesting thing that happened. Cricket and I, well, see, first Croesus fell off the rope, and then, or got pushed off or something, and then Cricket came and landed near me, and that was nice. But then there were all these archers, and they were shooting at us, and mostly at Cricket, and they looked like she was going to die. And I was really upset because it reminded me of when my friend Aderon died, and so I got really mad. And when I got really angry, instead of my light going all red like normally happens, I didn't have any light because I didn't have any light left for today. So instead, it just all went black, and they came towards me really quickly, and some of them fell down the hole that was right beside me, and some of them landed on the ground right beside me, and then I hit them, and they didn't look right after that, and then I looked, and it looked like Cricket was breathing after all, and that was better. So it was okay. And I'm safe, and she's okay. And she said we should, after we put them back to sleep permanently, then she said we should go down and join the others, so that's what we did. And everything's okay. And then Serendipity yelled at me for not getting some kind of stick with a flag on it and a little brooch that was on the floor. And I couldn't explain to her that those things don't really matter because I was half hanging off a tread trying to heal Croesus at the time, who had beetles trying to pull him down and eat him. But I think maybe after supper I'll talk to her about how flags aren't actually that important, nor are ornaments that you place on your person when your best friend looks kind of dead. But she wasn't, so it's all fine. And I don't think anyone saw the blackness, so that's probably for the best.